Wow, Mario Kart World for the Nintendo Switch 2 has completely surpassed my expectations in the best possible way. I was already beyond hype going into the Direct, but somehow, someway, Nintendo has taken that hype and just blasted it into the stratosphere. There is honestly so much new information to break down from the trailer, the treehouses, and just all the previews that it's almost overwhelming, but in the best possible kind of way. And if you know me, you already know I'm going to dive into this in a kind of fun, structured, and somewhat creative way, with just a series of different segmented videos, because, to be completely honest with you, I don't want to make an hour-long analysis. I just don't have it in me. It's just too long. It's just so much. But this video in particular, well, the title kind of says it all. We're going to be discussing everything confirmed for the characters, and then just kind of ending it off by just somewhat predicting everything else character related. So you can use the timestamps below to navigate it easier. Before we dive into anything though, I honestly need to take a moment to just appreciate that Pianta is finally here. If you've seen any of my past content, you will know that Pianta was my most wanted character ever, so to have it is pretty special. In other words, I won. That was just kind of the beginning, because Nintendo did not hold back on characters. Alongside Pianta, we also got a wild mix of unexpected newcomers, and the return of some fan favorites as well. Just with there being so many fresh and returning faces joining the race, there is a pretty big question that I do see around quite a fair bit. Is there going to be any more characters, and who? Well, I'm going to break down every single thing that we currently know about, and then throw in some predictions as well. And don't worry, we are also going to be covering the alternative costumes as well, because there is a lot of them, and they are pretty damn cool. Before we do get started, just be aware that I am giving away a Nintendo Switch 2 on this channel, and also a copy of Mario Kart as well. To be part of the giveaway, all you have to do is simply be subscribed to this channel. That is it. Alright, just to kickstart this video, let's go over all the confirmed characters not included in the alternative costume, because we'll come back to those later. The returning characters include familiar faces like Mario, Luigi, Peach, Daisy, Bowser, Donkey Kong, Yoshi, Toad, Toadette, Rosalina, Pauline, Baby Mario, Baby Luigi, Baby Peach, Baby Daisy, Baby Rosalina, I don't want to say baby anymore, Bowser Jr., Wario, Waluigi, Birdo, Shy Guy, Koopa Trooper, Lakitu, King Boo, Dry Bones, Wiggler, and then we get some characters from Mario Kart Tour like Hammer Bro, Charge and Chuck, Nabba, and Monty Mole. That's a nice 30 total returning characters. That's pretty damn solid if you ask me. The only ones that are currently missing from past games are Diddy Kong, Funky Kong, Petey Piranha, Honey Queen, Dry Bowser, Dixie Kong, King Bob-omb, all the Koopalings, Paratrooper, Kamek, Donkey Kong Jr.,
Rob the Robot, all the crossover characters, Fire, Ice, and Boomerang Bro,
and unfortunately Poochie. I do have a feeling that a lot of these are going to be coming back, so spoiler alert for later, I'm a believer in more characters coming. Now let's get to the real exciting part. Let's talk about the new characters that were shown off, because I don't think I've actually listed them all off on this channel yet, because when I made these videos when everything came out, I think I missed like 99% of them, because I didn't even see that frickin' Pianta was in the game, or else I would have lost my damn mind, I'm telling ya. But anyway, there are honestly only like 3 normal characters from the new characters, and the rest are pretty much just pure unfiltered wacky madness. But you know what? I'm all for it, and it's going to be an absolute blast. Probably the most normal character out of all the newbies is Spike. I kind of expected this one, but just having him here and also in Jamboree, I don't know, it just makes me happy. Then we have Goomba, which in itself is pretty wacky because he doesn't have any hands, but compared to the others, this is nothing. But I'm just happy he's finally here. And probably the only other normal character from the lot is just Pianta, who was also my biggest wish, but we don't really get too much Super Mario Sunshine representation anymore, so just getting him here was pretty damn cool. I mean, I never ever selected him for my predictions, only my wishes. The rest are just all pretty damn wacky. So we have Piranha Plant, which is awesome. We have the Moo Moo cow from frickin' Moo Moo Meadows and everything else in Mario Kart where the cow is. I don't know, it's just a cow, but he's cool and he's going to be pretty popular. We of course have the Pokey, which I never would have saw that coming. I never also would have saw a dolphin coming either, or a parrot bitty buddy. I kind of maybe thought the penguin might have been a real long shot or something weird, but I mean, hey, I'm happy that they're there. The sidestepper crab, which okay. The snowman, I mean, all right, we'll just throw the tree. We'll throw a tree in next. The cataquack, which is awesome because the cataquacks also return in Peach Beach, which is great. The fishbone, again, what the hell's going on here? Peeper, that's cool. Swoop, again, what the hell, but really, really cool. The Rocky Wrench actually is probably a somewhat normal character choice because they are awesome and I'm glad they're here. We have Stingbee, which honestly just makes me want Honey Queen even more because, I mean, if we can have a Stingbee, surely we can have Honey Queen. So give us both, everyone's happy. Then we have the Coin Coffer, again, amazing. We have a Cheep Cheep, which is, again, unreal. They're a fish and they're driving a car. And we've got the Conkdor, which is awesome. This brings us to 50 characters in total, and that's not even talking about any alternative costumes. Thanks to the game previews and also all the Nintendo Treehouse events, we also know that officially that character costumes are apparently part of the overall roster in the select screen. I don't say that with much confidence though, because this could just simply be a build for the demos and just allowing you to choose what costumes you want, and the characters might be a bit easier for the average person just to walk up, select something, and then of course play it rather than, you know, being on 8 Deluxe. So you click Yoshi and then you can choose between 8 different colors or whatever it was. This way makes a lot more sense. I really hope that this menu allows you to click a character and then choose all the outfits, because I'm probably not going to be the biggest fan of just scrolling for like a few minutes to find my character. So hopefully that's the case. However, if we do count all the costumes as characters, then we actually have over 100 characters. And I've seen a lot of people online say that there's only going to be 84 characters because one of the IGN previews had a certain amount of slots and rows and it added up to 84. I'm telling you now, that's not the case. It's probably going to be purely dependent on how many characters that particular demo has unlocked, which of course you get by driving and of course collecting the lunch bag, it seems. It also seems that the Kamek item also turns you into a random enemy, and these enemies actually get placed in front of you as a hazard. I absolutely love this. So essentially, if that enemy is playable, it appears that you just unlock them as a playable character, which can be seen by this pop-up on screen. So that's pretty damn cool. It means you actually have to play the game to unlock things, which I'm all for. The character selection screen itself though is extremely clean. And to be completely honest, I just love the overall art style, and of course the little dances they do when you're hovering over the characters themselves. That also transitions into the gameplay too. I just love how expressive they are, especially when they get hit by something or just being reactive to something. It's pretty dope. And while we're on the selection topic, I know this isn't about carts or all that kind of stuff, but I'm also just a really big fan of just the simplicity of selecting a cart and nothing else. I'm glad they got rid of all the extra customization. It was cool in 8 Deluxe, but I kind of like this a bit more, and just the fact that the gliders are actually built into the cart themselves now, I think it's pretty cool. Alright, so by now you'll probably understand that I'm all for there being more characters besides what we've seen so far. And before we jump into any predictions, I think we should take a look at all the costumes that we know of so far. I love how a lot of these are from Mario Kart Tour, but then there's also a lot of original ones too. But seriously, look how many there are. It's actually unreal. I love so many of these, like Sunshine Mario, for example. I really like the King Boo one that we saw during the presentation too, which I mentioned being the Atra Scrat, which I think is called. There's a Pirate Boo now too, which I hadn't seen until this very moment. I also saw a Wario, a bee of some sort. The biker outfit, which looks so reminiscent from Smash Bros. This Wario one, which looks unreal. Waluigi has so many cool ones. I really like this one here, the Mariachi. Oh man, there's just so many good ones. And then you go down even further, even characters like Koopa Troopa has some cool ones. Donkey Kong only has one that's been sodded so far, but I can imagine we'll probably get a lot more. Bowser Jr., Pauline, Shy Guy, it's seriously unreal. There is so many costumes and I'm all for it. This Matsuri one from Yoshi as well is awesome. And I'd imagine characters like Yoshi will get all their color variants, same with Shy Guy. And probably things like Pianta too will get more color variants. So it's really exciting. What more can you say? These are awesome. This is such a nice to have feature. Every race is going to be super different. So I'm all for it. I think we're going to see a lot more of these costumes and also characters as well. I mean, we have an entire Mario Kart World presentation just dedicated towards it. And also, the game costs $120 here in Australia by itself, where Donkey Kong Bonanza, for example, and others are like $110. Look, I'm going to give Nintendo the benefit of the doubt here, and just think they are hiding a whole lot more just to justify the extra price. And hey, I can also see how much work has actually gone into this game, and just how much replay time we're going to get here. So, for me personally, yeah. Now, I kind of want to jump into some character predictions and theories that I've seen going around and that I think might be slightly relevant. Again, take this with a massive grain of salt. The first one I like to just call the enemy theory. We already know that Kamek item curses a driver, and then you unlock them as well, so that's awesome. But we actually see a lot of characters in the background that could honestly maybe just be playable. Think of characters we've seen around besides things like obviously the dinosaur, the giant Robo GK, and the cars. I'm more referring to Mario enemies and NPCs we see quite often in the Mario world. Think about like the giant Gruul, the bullies, the ice bullies, Womps, Skeeters, Typhoos, maybe even Lumas, which we can see on the Starview Peak select screen. They're all potentially possible. I mean, we've seen Conkdor, for example, on the course preview for Desert Hills, Monty Mole on Moo Moo Meadows, etc. This can actually open up things like Chain Chomps, Battledons, Tokodos, etc. Because we actually get to see the Battledons and Tokodos in one of the course previews for Shy Guy Bazaar, which, on a side note, I really love how it's all Sarasta Land related now, and also Mario Land themed too. It's just awesome. The next one, which I don't want to give too much of a light to, is just the advertisement theory. This is something we saw in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's Booster Course Pass, and this basically never came to fruition, so take this with a grain of salt. But a lot of the characters found within the game so far that are really wacky and weird have actually got some advertisements just scattered around it, so take that with a grain of salt. But that could honestly open up the possibility of things like fuzzies, etc. But I won't speak on it anymore. I also do think we'll get to see a lot more other non-enemy NPC characters, so maybe things like Professor Egad or Toadsworth, etc. I don't have any logic to back this one up, but considering we're getting all these really wacky and out there characters, I honestly can see us getting a lot more normal stuff as well. So, if anything, keep your imagination open because anything is truly possible at this point. And this one isn't really a theory, but I do have a feeling this game is gonna kind of be like Mario Kart Tour, just where we continuously get updates as the game progresses and time goes on. So maybe that might open up the opportunity for more tracks and characters. Or hey, maybe even things like DLC, like the Booster Course Pass could just be on the cards again. So just another one to throw out there. Regardless, my point here is just keep your minds open because this is already exciting enough. We're getting a whole direct presentation towards it. The money of this game seems to be higher than other games, so I've got some pretty damn big expectations, and I'm really loving everything we're seeing so far. But that's enough from me. I just really wanted to get my thoughts on all the characters out there so far, and also just my thoughts and theories and predictions, whatever you want to call it, just out there in the wild, because honestly, this is what I love doing. I love just sort of theorizing and just predicting things and just really embracing all that hype because that's what it's all about. This is going to be a lot of fun. If you did enjoy this video though, it'd be super appreciated if you could leave a like and of course subscribe. I have a lot more Mario Kart content coming, and don't worry, if you do like some more of that structured kind of real analysis stuff, if you know my content, there is a lot coming there, literally 30 things coming. So you can kind of imagine what I'm getting into there. And make sure to let me know all of your character theories and just your thoughts on the characters so far as well down in the comments section below. I honestly want to read through all of them. But until next time though, make sure to take care of yourselves and I'll catch you all in the next video. See ya!